You're looking live from LaGrange Park.
This is a hell of a microphone. Hell of a microphone, Mike.
Thank you.
I will say that.
Thank you. I got it for Christmas. We haven't done a podcast since January.
Wow.
And we are using this microphone for the first time.
Are you going to tell us that
hopefully it works.
It's a 5X-G3 Rick Beata?
It is.
Loves it.
It's a 5GX3. I was on Rick Beato's podcast, and
We love you, Rick. Don't
we were
listen to us.
we were talking about microphones for a good 45 minutes. It was fantastic. All right, so this is Classic Rock Reviews Unfiltered! ! That's Mike. I'm Mike. Dave is on location in Nepal. He might be calling in via satellite later.
Yeah, he's got to get his signal first, though.
Yes.
The Sherpa will be involved.
We've been told he's testing his good hip on what is that mount?
The Himalayas?
The Himalayas.
Yeah, he's at the base camp.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not at
Mount
20,000
Everest?
yet. He's at 11,000
Okay.
feet. He'll soon be at 20,000. He'll need the Sherpa, I believe.
I think he just ran into the green boots person. Do you know that?
No, I don't. What's green
Like
boots?
all those dead bodies that are on Mount
yeah.
Everest. There's a famous one called Green Boots or something that's been there for like 30 years.
So he's like stepping
Isn't that
over
weird?
those.
Isn't that weird?
It is weird.
Yeah, there's all these dead bodies all over it. And
Are they
they
skeletons?
don't move them. No, they're like preserved, like
Oh,
frozen.
because it's so cold.
Yeah, strange.
Oh, there you go.
All
Well,
right.
We are doing live albums today. Our favorite live albums are our top 4. And we hope you'll enjoy this podcast. We do miss Dave and we wish him well. Come on back, Dave. Healthy.
Yes, I'm looking forward to this one.
So I think we will do a little bit different. We'll try to figure out our top 4. I think we should say it at the very beginning, and then we'll,
Yeah,
because
we
I
might
know we
have-
have 1 or 2 perhaps live.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So I'll go first.
You go first.
I'll go first. My 4th favorite is Stop Making Sense, which is really a live concert film.
Mhm.
It's a series of concerts that they did. Where was it? What was the name of that place? But the name escapes me at this point. But they did over 4 different concerts that they did, and this album came out in 1984. Fantastic album, fantastic production direction by Jonathan Demme.
Demi.
Is it Demi?
I think it is.
It is Demi. Jonathan. Sorry, Jonathan.
Is it Ted Demi or Jonathan Demi?
It's Jonathan.
Okay.
It's Jonathan Demme. And so anyway, his later claim to fame was Silence of the Lambs. But one of the things he did is he didn't get the audience involved. Like he didn't turn the lights up on this particular movie because he wanted to keep the ambiance dark, and I don't think the musicians really wanted to have a fully lit theater kind of interrupt their their look and the visuals. It was fantastic. I mean, they show like really close-ups of each member of the band, and you could just see how much energy they were putting in the whole time. I mean, it starts out with David Byrne just with his guitar and a cassette deck, right? Just starts playing Psycho Killer acoustically, and then you see all these guys start moving in, all the equipment, and then they'd get their bass player Tina. They move, and then they go into Heaven, which I love. That's my favorite song. That's my new favorite song of theirs. Especially acoustic. It's awesome.
I think I like Cross-Eyed and Painless. I think isn't that the name of it?
Yeah.
I love that song. Yeah, that is a great movie. Yeah.
But I love it because we actually saw it live in '84. We were my girlfriend, now my wife Kim. We went to see that movie with a few other people down at U of I, and it was fantastic. It was the high energy in the audience. People were dancing up front. You could see like their silhouettes, going to the. And I'm trying to remember if Kim went down there too, but some of our friends went down and danced. I was very straight-laced, conservative, not like it's like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Just listen. Just listen to the music. It's great music, really. But it was fantastic. It was cool energy. It was college campus. Everyone was, waiting for this to
Drinking.
come out.
Was it like a midnight movie? Like
It was.
Rocky
It was
Horror?
late. It was late.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That would have been fun.
Yeah. It was really fun.
We did see that in Chicago like a couple of years ago, right? We went downtown
Yeah.
and we
That
saw.
was the 40th anniversary.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
was cool.
Yeah. It was, and there were still people dancing,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was at
You were
Hop-
still pissed about it. Too.
I
You were
was.
like,
I
"Sit
was.
down."
I'm like this. My face like this. Alex P. Keaton. But no, it was fun. But it was at the Pantages Theater. Is that what it's called in Hollywood? And they were on tour at that time promoting their '83 album, Speaking in Tongues. But yeah, there were no interviews at all during this concert. It was just literally just them playing with high energy the whole time. It was really cool. Couple of little fun facts. You know how Byrne is kind of doing the swing when can't remember what song he's singing, but he's kind of dancing like this, and then he's going like this.
Mhm.
And that was kind of, I guess, from a Fred Astaire film. Like Fred Astaire would kind of do that, during one of the films that he had. But that's how he found, kind of did that little bit. But he is just, you gotta watch this. He is just constantly moving, like the whole time. It's just like, I'm tired just watching him, but it's great. And the songs that they picked were fantastic.
Yeah, and those two backup singers that they had.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, they didn't stop moving the entire time.
No.
And you know what? After watching that movie, I know we're supposed to be talking about albums, but this album and this movie are kind of combined. I got a lot new appreciation for Tina Weymouth as a bass player.
Oh, yeah.
She has a really, really good groove. And it's really interesting, I think, visually to watch her play bass too. She's just like totally in the pocket. She plays the bass up like super high like
Right.
this. And she's just totally like in the groove, It's,
Yeah.
it's cool.
And it is cool to see them really energetic, like I said, and they looked really like they were having a great time, all of them. And I'm not sure at that time that band was really in the best state of mind, right? They're getting close to what they have, 2 more albums after that, one more album maybe,
Yeah, 2.
two. And so, I'd heard all these grumblings about, you know what, they might break up, this and that.
You heard that at that time?
No, later.
Okay.
Later on. No, I had no idea at the time. I thought they'd play forever, right? I mean, I would have had to do, separate research, Mike. I had to go into my Funkin' Wagnalls,
You dust them off.
Exactly. Look up classic rock, Talking Heads, T.
R-S-T.
Toad the Wet Sprocket? No, I went too far. Talking Heads. But anyway, yeah, it was really cool. I every time I listen to this album all the time. It's great. A great sequence of songs. They really did a great job on it. So, but yeah, that's why I love this. It brings back great memories of college, and there were a lot of concerts that you'd either go to, but this was like a concert film, and that's what kind of made it a little bit different, which was really cool. So that's my 4th favorite.
Awesome. Okay.
The 3rd one we'll both talk about, and I'll pretty much let you take over. Live at Leeds, 1970 album.
Okay.
But I do have to ask you, I'll let you talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have a question for you.
Okay. All right. So Mike stole my thunder. I have Live at Leeds,
I do.
which was recorded 4 days before my very first birthday, or my very original birthday. My 0th birthday, February 14th, 1970. On Valentine's Day, this was recorded. And I came into the world 4 days later. I have a couple of props here. First, this is a single of Summertime Blues. backed with Heaven and Hell.
Yes.
And this is a cool single on the original Decca label. And then I bought this, I think first. This is the CD, Live at Leeds. This has been released like 3 different versions. Like the original version, which I have the record of, there's like 6 songs on it.
The original 6, as they call it.
The original 6, yes.
Do you know what the original 6 were?
Let's see, Detroit, Chicago, Boston, Toronto, Montreal, and
Not the cities.
oh,
The songs.
who's the 6th of the original 6?
Oh, the hockey teams?
Yeah.
Philadelphia?
I don't know. Is it like,
Toronto?
yeah, I said that.
Montreal?
No, I said that.
New York?
New York Rangers.
Rangers.
Are they one of the original?
Or Island? Well, Rangers.
All right. So anyway, this is the CD. This is the second version that came out. This one came out in 1995, and this has 14 songs on it. So it has all the songs that they played from the concert, other than the songs from Tommy, right? Because they were touring on Tommy right now in 1970, the album Tommy. And so they would play the whole album of Tommy, and they'd start off the concert with a couple of songs first, then they'd play all of Tommy, and then they would, generally at the end, they would play like some, quote, rock and roll songs like Summertime Blues and some of the other songs on this album, like
Shaking All Over.
Shaking All Over and Young Man Blues. And then they would play like a super long version of Magic Bus and My
Which is
Generation.
great, by the way.
So this is the 95 version. This is the original one, which I have the inserts in here, but I must have taken them out and like hung them on my wall, and now I don't know where they are. But this is like it's like a folder, and see, it's almost like a school folder. And then this is the album, the record, and then I have like a poster of Pete Townsend jumping, and it was kind of like taken from behind, and he's like wearing his like white boiler suit, and it's from Woodstock, and it's like taken from lower on the stage, so it looks like he's jumping like 20 feet high. And then it has like some other like fun stuff, like their contract for Woodstock, like that they wrote, that they had with the Woodstock Productions or whatever. But anyway, so this album is amazing, and a lot of people consider this album to be the greatest live album of all time, and I would agree with that. It's all power, right? Young Man Blues, Substitute, Summertime Blues, Shakin' All Over, My Generation, and The Magic Bus.
That's the original 6.
Yeah, and it's just fantastic. So I don't have that many notes on these albums. I'm really just going to talk about how these albums meant something to me, right? Because these are not necessarily, although Live at Leeds I think is the greatest album of all time, or live album of all time, but I didn't pick my choices based on what I felt like were the greatest live albums. I picked them because they meant something to me, like growing up. And now this one is kind of in a roundabout way. When we got cable TV, like in '82, like the movie The Kids Are All Right, which is a Who documentary, was on all the time, right? And that was sort of my introduction to the Who. I think I probably heard like You Better You Bet, or things like that on the radio, but I don't think I'd ever seen like the visual representation of what the Who was all about in the 70s and in the late 60s. And just the power, the live power that they had, and just the pure energy. And that movie, which was like a series of interviews and live clips from throughout their whole career, really is what got me into the Who, right, when I was about 12. And I bought them the soundtrack album, which is a double album, and it's fantastic. And it has this great booklet in it. It has all these cool pictures, and it kind of talks about the history of the Who and all that stuff. And then just by, just kind of by extension of their live prowess or whatever you want to call it, that was what got me, to buy this album, because I heard about it. I heard, I think when there was like a review in Rolling Stone when this first came out, I think it was like, it said like it's a nuclear assault, right? It's what they called this album. That is just pure energy. So that is that's my first pick. I'm not really ranking them. I have 4 albums that I picked. I'm not saying which one I think is the best or my top. This is my second one or third one or whatever. These are just 4 albums that I just really love. Do you want to play a little bit?
Yeah, we can. But I have a question
all
for
over.
you. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of that, I'm sorry. One more thing. There was a third version that came out sometime in the 2000s, I think, which is the entire concert. So it includes everything from this 1995 version plus all of Tommy as well.
So I have a question. So you listened to the album first, then saw the movie.
No, I saw the movie first.
So I have a question. So this brings me into the question. If there was no movie, like if you didn't actually see the footage, would you consider this album the greatest live album still? Because would you? Like I
would. But the movie I'm talking about is The Kids Are All Right movie. It's not a movie.
But when you see the footage of Live at Leeds, right, you see the energy, you feel like, you just see it and you feel it. And maybe you feel it by listening to the album, but I did both. And I tried to kind of be objective and say, okay, if I just listened to the album and never saw the movie, would I consider this one of the greatest live albums? And I don't know if I would necessarily, but seeing the footage of them and just the whole, the ambiance or whatever you want to call it, very, very, Leeds is a small theater. It's only like 2,100 people, so there's not a lot of people there at all. I think that's what gives it its myth, and not its myth, but its strength, right? That's how I kind of see it. I don't know. Because I listened to the album the other day, and I was like, if I never saw the movie, would I consider this to be one of the great? And it isn't. And again, this isn't the greatest live album, per the masses, because we know probably is still considered one of the greatest live albums per the masses. But
I think that if I had never seen the movie, which got me into the Who, let's just say somebody gave me the album for Christmas or something and listened to it, I think I think I would find it just as exciting and compelling. I think. Yeah. Pretty sure. But I think it's the combination though of the visual and hearing it. It's like Kiss, right? It's like the spectacle. It's like the music is awesome, right? But then you also have the visual part of it, and then they go hand in hand, you know?
Yeah, it's just, they probably went a little bit too far in Engine Driver. They were talking, kind of back and forth, and Pete was trying to kind of go through that whole story of the Engine Driver. It's like, okay, Pete. And I remember, I'm listeing to this on the tape, so if you've never seen it, but if you watch it, it's hilarious. And then, of course, the longer Pete talks, that gives Keith a chance to kind of start goofing around. And he starts doing chirping in the background. It's like, oh my God, get through this story, dude. Get through it. But I think it's great. It's my, it's a number 3 because Mike actually got me into Live at Leeds. I did not, my brothers. I always talk about my brothers getting me into songs and stuff like that. But I think the Live at Leeds, I saw it first. I actually saw the footage. Listen to it, it's like, oh my God, this energy, it's raw, it's powerful, as you said. And watching, John Entwistle's in his skeleton outfit, and it just brings such an energy on top of just listening to the music. And but It is. It's great music. They added a lot more than just those original 6. I mean, the songs I love. I mean, I love Heaven and Hell. That first song is just magnificent to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great opener. So let's get to Live at Leeds.
Yeah, I picked. It's not. I mean, there's 6 songs to pick from, but I picked "Young Man Blues," "Shakin' All Over," "Summertime Blues," "My Generation."
Yeah, and I'm looking at the 2001 remaster, which has Heaven and Hell. Right. It has. Yeah, of course, it's got a ton of the Acid Queen. I love that song. But what do you want me to play?
"Shakin' All Over."
Shaking all over.
When you moving right up close to me, that's when I get the shakes all over me. Quivers down my backbone, I got the shakes in a needle. Quivers in a bottle, yeah. Shaking all over.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome, I'm telling you. I love this one.
If your child ain't all he should be now,
There he is.
this girl will put him right. I'll show you what he could be now. Just give me one night.
I think this is like the height of their. Wait, come on. I think this is the height of their performance
Yeah.
live. They're like all of them. You know, I think this is like Keith's like the very best that he ever got. I think was during this period, 69, 70, 71. I think Pete's guitar. He's not a great lead guitar player. You know, he's kind of. I mean, he's not really known as a great live lead guitarist, and he's a great rhythm guitarist, and you know, sort of invented a new way of playing guitar. You know, the power chords and all that stuff. But his lead playing during this period is just incredible to me. You know,
Yeah. And that's probably what adds to the lore, right? Because this, even though you could argue that some of their better albums came just right after this, right? You know, they had enough material, but you know, they did play the whole Tommy on there. But really, in my opinion, their greatest albums came after this. You know, and that tells you
Who's next?
how great,
How much for you?
how great they were as a performance band when they didn't even have their best stuff. No, I shouldn't say best stuff. I mean, they had great stuff at that time. I mean, they did.
I think Tommy's
Yeah,
amazing album.
it is.
I think the live versions of Tommy, like on this album and the one at like the Isle of Wight, I think take Tommy to like a whole other level. I think that the studio album itself, I think, is kind of tame.
Yeah.
Just production wise, there's not a lot of energy in it, and there's just a lot of I don't know. It just doesn't have the power that their live that the album transformed live. You know, transformed from something that was really, really good to something that was just incredible to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and they just came off, well, not just came off, but they had the Woodstock appearance before this. And so they were definitely riding high.
For sure. Wow.
Yeah. Come on, one time, John. Now.
Yeah, this is a good song. Blues was on the album, but Heaven and Hell wasn't originally on the album, so it was just the B-side. That's all you could get of this. It was on the B-side. I don't even think it was on House and Sods, I believe. You know? What a great B-side, you know? And they, during this period, they opened with Heaven and Hell. Like, pretty much every concert, they would start with Heaven and Hell, and then they would do Can't Explain and then Substitute. And then they would kind of vary it after that. They usually would start with those three songs.
Yes. That's an awesome song. I love it. Well, cool. So that's your, that's our,
one of
well,
mine,
that's yours.
yes.
What was that? Well, that was one of yours.
Yes.
You're not listing yours as
I'm not
top.
ranking them.
Okay.
No.
Got it. Okay.
All right, are you up?
Well, I got my number 2. I call it my number 2. Do you
Okay.
have MTV Unplugged Alice in Chains?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No. I was going to do that one, but then I figured that you were going to do it, so then I didn't do it.
Yes.
And I found other ones that I really labored like over. I mean, we decided we were going to do this one in January. Like the one with Led Zeppelin was the last podcast that we did. And it's July now, you know, I went over my list like over and over. I kept revising it and listening to different live albums, and they're like, no, we got to do this now, but do it. Does that really connect with me? I mean, I really kept editing my list over and over again, including even this morning, because I had 5 and I had to get it down to 4. So
You had an honorable mention.
I do have an honorable.
You got an H on?
We can talk about that at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. why don't
So
you
I
go?
did MTV's Unplugged Alice in Chains, their live concert in New York. It was released July 30th, 1996. It was recorded in April at the Brooklyn Academy of Music's Majestic Theater. Very, very small crowd or capacity, seating 1,700 people there. It was the band's first concert since early 1994. In the interim, lead singer Lane Staley battled heroin addiction to the point the group was unable to perform live, leading them to temporarily disband. Nevertheless, the band persevered and released their self-titled album in 1995, though they were unable to promote the effort with live shows. Why I like it? Well, I love the songs. The very part, and I'll play a little bit of sample. I didn't do a sample for Talking Heads, can't believe that, but that's okay. It's okay. But they start out, and they kind of introduce each member of the band by just kind of starting off with their first song. So let me get that. Plug Alice. So they're playing Nutshell. That's their very first song. And when they're basically playing the song, and I'm sure, and I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm sure what they do is it's completely dark, and then each member of the band is kind of, comes in, and it's pretty cool.
That's a great song.
It's pretty cool.
The whole album, I think, is amazing.
I'll play
I actually prefer listening to the live versions
I do than the actual songs. I agree.
Yeah.
Stole my thunder. That's
Sorry.
That's
except for maybe. Well, they don't play Man in the Box.
See why I like it.
Yeah.
It's so edgy and honest, and you really, when you look at Lane, he's got dark glasses on, and he's got a music stand, and he's got the words because he's still pretty. He's getting through his rehab, and he's still kind of messed up in a way, and it's honest. They're not trying to blow smoke up your butt and say that they're where they're at right at that point. But yeah, this is great. And on that same concert, apparently, their lead guitarist Jerry Cantrell was battling food poisoning.
Oh, really?
Apparently, he ate a hot dog. I don't know if it was the night before, but he had a bucket right next to
No way.
the stand because he
Wow.
was sick. He was throwing up right before the concert. They had an additional guitarist that helped him, Scotty Olson, which he kind of was in the band Heart for a while in the mid '90s, late '90s, 2000s, and he's really good. I can't remember which song he plays on there, but he helps them out a lot. Yeah, they didn't play any songs from Facelift. They were going to, but they didn't, which happens to be my favorite Alice in Chains album.
I wonder why they didn't.
Don't really know. They tried to get We Die Young and Love Hate Love. They abandoned the songs when time constraints prevented them from fitting them in the taping. They were trying to promote their self-titled album, so they played a lot of those songs on this. Some members of Metallica. You want to talk about that a little bit or no? They were in the audience.
Right. And they had just gotten their haircuts for the album Load, I think. Load was the album, and it was like 96, something like that. And I think Mike Inez wrote on his bass, like, friends don't let friends get friends haircuts, like meaning Friends the TV show.
Which I didn't know. I was like, what's that mean? They got 3 friends in there.
Yeah.
What's that third friends? So friends got haircuts, is that?
Well, because they all got like
Short hair.
short hair like Joey or Chandler or whatever. Just funny.
Yeah, but Metallica was in the audience that night. I thought that was pretty kind of cool. And they do play a couple of chords of Enter Sandman,
Oh,
like
yeah.
right before Sludge Factory, which was like a
Right.
little bit of a nod to them.
I love the part. Well, I think I don't know if it's Lane or Jerry that says that they're gonna break for a LL Cool J video.
Yeah. That was funny. But it is. It's a very honest live. And I do love that it is unplugged, because if you listen to, their songs on their albums, it's got, it's more produced, right? And I just think they were on the top of their game, despite the
Yeah.
problems they were having. So
Yeah, it's a great last kind of stab at greatness, I think, for them as a group, right? This was when the album came out in 97, 96, and then they didn't do anything after that. And then Lane died in 2002, but from 96 to 2002, they didn't do anything. Like, they had that one song. They did
Yeah.
Get Born Again, which is a great song. And that was like in 99, I want to say, when they put their box set out.
yeah.
So it's just that sad. I know when the very first live podcast that we did, that
We need 2 more views to get 200 views. So
we've been at 198 views for like
any
a
new
year and a half.
viewers, because there's so many out there, we need 2 more to hit
Come
the
on.
200.
Damn it!
And we'll get our $1 million. We'll get our $1 million bucks finally.
We were promised $1 million.
Yes.
No, but I mean, we talked about that when we talked about Alice in Chains a couple of years ago. It's a sad waste of talent, that Lane, just couldn't or wouldn't pull himself out of his addiction, and it's a shame, because just think how many great albums they could have put out,
Right. I mean, they are still going. They put out, I think, 3 albums after that. Obviously, not the same energy that they had with Lane, but they're still doing, they're still pulling out some albums. I'm hoping they're going to get a new album out pretty soon. But it's been about 8 years, I think. Yeah, 2018, I think, is when Rainier Fog or something like that. So that is my number 2. But yeah, there's great. I mean, this is awesome, right? Down in the Hole, Angry Chair, Rooster, Got Me Wrong, Heaven Beside You, Wood, which is an awesome beginning. And I know we've done it before, but we need to get 2 more views, guys. Go to our first episode. Jesus. This is... gave us three great albums there in the 90s. So we got that, right?
Yep.
So that is my number 2.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Let's see, which one should I do? I think I'm going to do this. Page and Plant. Now, Page and Plant are not on streaming for some reason.
What?
I don't know why. They have 2 albums and they are not available. But I do have the CD and I have it
You mean the No Quarter?
queued up. Yeah, No Quarter and Walk Into Clarksdale. They're not available on streaming. So anyway, this is it's called No Quarter. Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, Unleaded, and this came out in 1995. I want to say 94. And so what this is their first album's worth of collaboration since Led Zeppelin broke up in 1980, and very exciting. As if you've watched any of these podcasts, you know I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan, and I was giddy. I was as giddy as a schoolgirl, as what's her name would say from
Right.
Last Crusade, and I remember. Well, first I'm going to go back a little bit. So in 1988, Robert Plant did an album called Now and Zen, which is a really good album. And it has like Heaven Knows, which is a really good song. It has a song called Tall Cool One, which samples a lot of Led Zeppelin riffs. And that was the first time that he sort of kind of embraced like his Led Zeppelin past. Because when Led Zeppelin broke up in 1980 and then his first solo album came out in 82, he was really trying to like forge a new career and kind of make a name for just himself. And so, although a lot of his solo albums, they have a Zeppelin-ish quality sometimes. I mean, you can't really help that. But and now on the album Now and Zen, Jimmy Page plays on Heaven Knows. He plays a guitar solo on that, and he plays on Tall Cool One also. And I was working for my high school newspaper at the time, and I would do like rock music reviews. And when this album came out, I was just so excited, and it was more of an essay on Led Zeppelin than it was like a review of the album. I mean, I was just so excited that they were playing together again. And then Robert Plant sang a song on Jimmy Page's Outrider album, which came out in '88 also. Periodically, they would appear together. In 1990, they played at, Jimmy Page guested with Robert Plant at Nebworth. They had the couple reunions, like at Live Aid and the Atlantic 40th anniversary concert in '88. I think that was still. They played at Jason Bonham's wedding. But this was the first full collaboration, and then they did a really long tour, and they did an MTV special, like a video, like a 2-hour concert video, which showed the behind the scenes and them playing live. And so it's not completely acoustic. There are some electric parts to it, so it's not exactly unplugged or whatever, but they called it unleaded. And then they had like a Bombay Egyptian orchestra playing with them on a few songs, which are really great. I'm gonna play one of those for you right now. Hold on one second.
Who's got it queued up?
Yeah, I was listening to it today.
He paused. Or my dad would do this when he would listen.
So they have like all these Egyptian musicians playing and Indian musicians playing with them. This is Four Sticks from Led Zeppelin 4. And then the last one is Kashmir, and that is just blows me away. So anyway, this is really an exciting time for Led Zeppelin fans, and they did another album after this, like a studio album called Walking in the Clarksdale, that was a really good album. It was very bluesy, and my wife and I saw that concert at the United Center, and it was amazing. Just, I was like beside myself with glee. So that's No Quarter. That's Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, Unleaded. Good
So,
album.
who was the drummer?
I think his name was Charlie Jones. I think he died actually.
So they only wanted to do Page and Plant. Did they invite
No,
John Paul Jones?
no. And when they got inducted into the Hall of Fame, like John Paul Jones made a joke about that. He's like, in his little speech, he said, and thanks, when he was giving his thank yous, he said, and thank you to Jimmy and Robert for remembering my phone number.
It's funny.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't ask John Paul Jones. I think they just didn't want to have to call it Led Zeppelin, right? If it was the three of them. I don't think that they,
Right.
you know, although, I mean, most of the songs they're playing are Led Zeppelin songs. It's not like they wrote all these new songs. There were some new songs on here. Speaking of that, the 4 songs I picked from this are Kashmir, Four Sticks, a new song called Yala, and Friends.
Very cool. So you didn't want to do Song Remains the Same. It was too obvious.
I never really got into that album, honestly.
I agree. Yeah. I considered
lacks
Song
energy.
Remains the Same, but yeah,
I thought about it. I listened to it.
yeah.
I don't. If they had done a live album with on the Physical Graffiti tour, I think maybe it would be a little bit more. I don't know. I just think it lacks energy. The album itself, you know.
It took him 3 years to get it out.
Yeah, and the movie is
The movie's pretty
kind of
lame.
lame. So yeah.
All right. All right. So that's your. Do you want to do your next one too?
Sure. Okay. This is. Take out the sleeve.
Now this to me is a sleeper.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't have thought you'd have picked this
Okay.
one.
This is Primus. Suck on this.
I know.
And this came out in 1989, and this was recorded live at Berkeley Square on February 25th, 1989, and March 5th, 1989.
Oh.
And my little story here behind this is just I got into them on accident, really. I was in college at University of Iowa, and I was a freshman. Freshman? No, I was a sophomore. And I saw them at a place called Gabe's Oasis in, I want to say it was late 89. And they were opening up for 2 other bands, 2 other local Iowa City bands. And one of which is the reason I went to this show was to see this group that was called the Iowa Beef Experience, which I love that name. It's a great name. But Primus was the opening act for these 2 other bands. And this album, if it was, I guess it was out already. I don't know when it was released in 89. I don't know if it was like in the fall of 89. I'm not really sure, but never heard of them. I was right. Gabe's Oasis was like a little tiny like club, and they had a small stage and a kind of a dance floor that was really not very large at all. And just local bands usually played there, and groups that were indie groups that were, you know, touring across the United States where they would play colleges and stuff. This was one of the stops, right? And I was right in front of the stage. I went to Gabe's all the time, and I did a lot of studying at Iowa. As you
You
can
brought
tell.
your books there, right?
I did. Yeah, I did. I was right in front of the stage. Like I was literally, I was like literally 10 feet away from Les Claypool, who is the singer / bass player and amazing bass player and a really distinctive singer. And I think a lot of groups really started to copy Primus in terms of that kind of like funky, like a combination of like funky funk bass playing and hard rock, right? Like groups like Faith No More, groups eventually like Korn and Limp Bizkit, and there's like all these kind of groups that kind of followed. Red Hot Chili Peppers maybe would be a good comparison. They came out before Primus, of course, but so I saw Primus. They played their show, which was about a half-hour show, something like that. Like I said, I was face to face with Les Claypool, basically, just totally blown away. I left after Primus was done. I left. I didn't watch the other two bands that I'd gone to see. I went back to my dorm room and I told my roommate Derek about them, and I just said, I just saw the greatest band of all time. And I was just like on cloud nine. I couldn't believe, and the reason I left immediately is that I didn't want anything to cloud my memory of what I had just seen and heard. And so then I went to the record store and then I bought this. This is a live album, of course. And Derek was like looking at this album and he goes, Larry Lalonde, I know him. He's from Kenosha. and like apparently Larry Lalonde was like a sort of like in all these kind of like death metal type hard rock groups in the 80s and stuff. So then he became a big fan after he listened to it. So then they had several albums after that, and they're still together to this day. That was the only time I ever saw them. You want to play John the Fisherman?
YYZ?
Yeah. Isn't that funny? Yeah.
It is.
It is. Yeah.
Plagiarism.
This is the first song that they played too. This is the first song on the album. This is the first song that they played when I saw them.
This is YYZ. This is not John the Fisherman. All you have to do is stick a thin synthesizer. Yeah. Oh, I see. I see what they did there. They didn't go to court? Come on.
I wonder if
Power
they had,
trio
I
didn't-
wonder if they had to give credit to Rush.
It's gotta be on there. Come on.
It says all compositions by Primus except Rush intro,
Yeah, there you go.
but it doesn't say their names.
We're gonna
but
see them in a couple of weeks. Just FYI.
Rush.
Rush. not
Yes. Yeah. So that's my one of my most fun little and to this day, when people ask me what was the greatest concert I've ever seen, they're always right up there, like top 3 or 4.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. Just the energy, and he's like such an amazing bass player. And if you ever see them, like watch one of their videos and stuff, he's just bouncing around, and he's a very quirky guy, as you can tell from like his singing voice and all that stuff. He's kind of whatever, odd duck or something like that. But I mean, he's just all over the stage, down, like jumping and kind of like bobbing and all that stuff. He's really awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's that one.
Awesome. Yeah, I would say that was a sleeper for me. I didn't think you surprised me on that. You did. All right.
I think Sean actually was the one, because I was telling
Did he
him
get
about,
you in it?
No, he didn't. I mean, he goes, well, what about Primus? Because I was like telling him what picks I was going to make. And he goes, what about Primus? I was like, oh, of course. You know, it's like it had just like slipped my mind, you know. So I'm glad he did. Thank
Yeah.
you.
There you go. Got to plug
In fact, Nikki was the one that said, what about Page and Plant? Because I had 4 like completely different ones. But I wasn't extremely happy about the picks that I had. Like 2 of them I was. But the other 2 I kept like changing and stuff.
Vacillating, as they say.
Vacillating, yes.
That's
I
my word
was-
of the day.
I like that.
Vacillating.
It sounds kind of hot.
Kind of like Vaseline.
I like it.
We'll leave it at that. Leave it. All right, so I did rank mine, right? Seconds Out by Genesis. Absolutely love this live album, and it is such a very cool. And I do have the album at home, and if anybody saw my promo, I got like 3 views. So can you help me there too?
I saw it. I was one of the
he
3.
was one, and I was one of the 3 too. So it's 2 other.
One other person saw
Yes. Somebody saw it. Probably the person who like restricted us, just like they're going to here. But anyway, this is the album Seconds Out. Look at that. Look at
That's
that.
a great cover.
It is a great cover. You got the kind of got the fog or whatever coming down on the guys. What got me into these guys? I used to work in a deli in the kind of early '80s, and one of the guys absolutely loved Genesis. He goes, he was kind of a pre-Genesis guy, or a pre Phil Collins, who's Peter Gabriel, very Peter Gabriel fan. But he said, you've got to listen to this album because these guys put out this album, and it's based on live shows primarily from Paris in 1977, and it's really probably about 1.5 years after Peter Gabriel left the band, and so these guys were kind of like, what are we gonna do? We got to find a lead singer, blah blah blah, and Phil Collins, was always listening to all the band, the lead singers they were trying to interview, and they were all terrible. The auditions were awful, and he would even say it too. By the way, you have low battery. He'd even say, "Man, these guys suck. I could do better than that." And then he decided, and it seems so obvious. That's the thing. It seems so obvious because Phil always sang backup vocals on a lot of the songs back in the early 70s, so it seemed like a natural fit. But this album, I think the Seconds Out album really bolstered their cachet, if you will, with Phil Collins being the lead singer. He was the drummer for Genesis, and then he became the lead singer. But on tour, it was very difficult to do both. So he actually hired, on this particular tour, this was kind of in support to the Wind and Wuthering tour, which was the second album after Peter Gabriel. And so they hired Chester Thompson to play drums as well. And the dueling drums that they do on a lot of these songs are amazing. But I got to credit Mark Lucerne. I don't know if he's still around. I'm sure he's not listening to this, but he's the one that got me into Genesis. Was he the One View?
Possibly.
Yeah, maybe he
think
could have
so.
been. Yeah, haven't seen him in 45 years, but really got me into Genesis. So of course after that, I bought all their albums. Duke and Abacab and Mama, and then of course then I went back to the Peter Gabriel era as well. They also had Bill Bruford actually did drums during the Trick of the Tail tour in '76. He was on Cinema Show on a couple of the songs. So that allowed Phil to kind of be in the front and kind of be the front man of the band. And it was natural. I don't understand why they interviewed anybody or auditioned anybody, because he was such an obvious choice. Maybe he wanted to continue to play drums.
I don't think he wanted to do it.
Yeah, I think he was.
I think they from the interviews that I've seen with them, he did it because he kind of had to, because they couldn't find anybody else to do it.
Yeah. And the terrible part about it is when this album actually got released in October, their lead guitarist, Steve Hackett, quit. just didn't show up anymore. And then there was a story that Phil Collins saw him at a bus station and said, "Hey, can I give you a ride to the studio?" And he basically said, "I quit. I'm not in the group anymore. I've had it." And so then they were down to 3, and then they came up with their album, and then there were 3 in '78. But this is such a great album. The if you listen to the album, the crowd is amazing. You know, just very into it. Speaking in French, Francais, as they say. Ouais. And
Je t'aime.
it's great. And like I said, I've got Wind and Wuthering, I've got Trick of the Tail, and then they got some from, the Peter Gabriel era as well. So I'm gonna see if I can throw in. Now, this is a progressive rock band, so to have you guys listen to a 15-minute, or 23 minutes, Supper's Ready, it's fantastic, but it takes forever to get into the song. So it's not like, hey, I'll play you. But I do love Los Angeles. I gotta play this. But both Chester, and there's really no, and this is a pure instrumental, so you got both Phil and Chester kind of going up, but it's just,
Yeah, I love seeing them play together, those two.
But yeah, it's just, I wish I was in that crowd that night. Again, another small stadium, the Palais in Paris, a very small theater as well, right? So it's funny, all of the live albums we did
That's true.
were very small venues.
It's true. Although I don't know about where this was recorded.
Oh yeah, oh that's right, we have not gotten to that yet. Yeah, just awesome.
After this, I'm going to hit pause on this so I can charge my phone a little bit. Because I don't want it to run out.
Anyway, but there's a lot of instances where they're playing double, and you see, some of the few clips that they've had, you see like Phil run to the drum kit, when they do their instrumental stuff. It's really cool. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and I don't have to pause.
We'll be right
because
back.
I can't do both at the same time.
Nope. Oh yeah, that. Yep. Pause.
have like any kind of like there was no like personal connection to it. You know, I didn't have any like kind
Yeah.
of story or whatever to tell about it. It's just a really good album. You know, and it's really exciting to have seen them because there's the live video of them coming back together and playing a free concert. It's like 500,000 people or whatever it was in Central Park. I mean, and just they just have a charisma, the two of them together. You know, just them standing there
Yeah,
singing.
I know.
You know,
Yeah.
but they have something, obviously. You know, so
Right.
that was an honorable mention. Another honorable mention was Jefferson Airplane's live album from '69. It's called Bless His Pointed Little Head, which is a really good album. But again, that was one of the original ones that I picked. I just didn't feel, I didn't really feel it though. And when the other suggestions came into me, you know, were made to me, like Primus and Page and Plant, I was like, how could I forget those two albums? You know, I mean, I played those albums to death, you know, so those are two of my honorable mentions.
Yeah. Mine was, and I think I mentioned this to you before. I love and I'm not a big Elton John fan, but I couldn't tell you, you know, what it meant to me or anything. But I saw his MTV Unplugged. It's really good, really good. He's great for big audiences. He's great for intimate audiences. It's just really, really, really cool album.
Hey,
I love Soundgarden. Live on I-5 is a great live album that I've listened to, but again, no real story to talk about. I did all the World's a Stage because I love Rush as well. And then Live Rust, Neil Young. So I listened to those, but like I said, I really didn't have any type of connection to any of them.
yeah,
Great live albums. And there's always great live albums, right? Everyone's gonna say, because everyone is gonna say, what happened to the Allman Brothers
oh yeah.
live at the Fillmore? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Of course it's great, but you know, I wasn't born, or I was 5 years old, you know, or whatever. You know, it's not gonna be much
Yeah.
of a.
And people know what a huge Kiss fan I am, and you know, people might ask, you know, what about Kiss Alive? You know, and if I didn't know that most of that album was kind of recorded in the studio and you know, a lot more than just touch-ups here and like little, you know, whatever
Right.
you call it,
Overdubs.
I mean, they basically recreated the whole thing in the studio and with the fake audience sounds and all that stuff. And that really, I wish I didn't know that, and because I didn't know that until probably 15 years ago or so. And when they, on one of the documentaries, the many documentaries that they have, they admit that, and they were like, "Oh, what's the big deal?" You know, it's stupid. To me, it's stupid because what's the point? You know, it's like if you want to hear the studio versions, then listen to the studio albums. You want to hear a live concert to hear them play it live.
Technically
You know?
speaking, it doesn't say Kiss Live. It says Kiss Alive.
That's true.
So maybe it was a little tongue-in-cheek thing from them.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. So that's why I didn't pick that one, in case anybody was wondering.
Yeah, because I know everyone was wondering.
Everybody was wondering.
So let us know what your favorite live albums are for those people who are, you know, mention it in the comments, hit the subscribe button. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening. We always love to talk about music, and we'll continue to do so. Not sure what the next thing's going to be, whether it'll be another, you know, favorite
Who's
albums
Tarzan?
of a group. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. You know, we're still working on our progressive music podcast, which we will be doing because I know people are clamoring for that. So
Yeah, and I'm gonna do one on grunge, and like sort of like just on the genre of grunge. Like you're gonna do one on
genre
progressive,
and progressive music.
which those are gonna be fun. It was gonna be fun. I haven't started working on that yet, but it's just like, you know, it's kind of in my head.
I got a scroll of notes, right? That kind of got to look through, and I'm gonna have a special guest as well. So to listen.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fun.
All right. Well, this was fun, Mike.
Thanks, everybody.
And Dave, we'll see you when you come back. Safe travels.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Rock on.